Hello Swatantra TV viewers. I am Mahima, welcoming you to our English bulletin with latest news, updates and analysis. Telangana Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy and Deputy Chief Minister Mallu Bhatti Vikramarka on Tuesday met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and appealed to him to release the funds owed to the state. The Prime Minister assured the Chief Minister of all help in releasing funds to the state. The Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister said that they had termed their meeting with the Prime Minister as a courtesy call. Revant Reddy appealed to the Prime Minister to accord national project status to the Palamuru Rangareddy Lift Irrigation Project. Revant Reddy and Vikramarka explained to the Prime Minister that 14 projects related to IIM, Sainik schools and national highways remained pending with the Sena. They requested the Prime Minister to ensure that all pending projects are sanctioned. They also requested the Prime Minister to ensure that funds for backward districts are released as per the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act. The centre is yet to release funds to the state under PM Awas Yojana, Indiram Houses, Narega, Panchayat Raj and Rural Development Schemes, and Central Health Mission schemes. After taking charge as the Chief Minister of Telangana, the Chief Minister said he had a courtesy meeting today for the first time with the Honourable Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
మేము రాష్ట్రం కోరి కొట్లాడి తెచ్చుకున్నదే నిధులు, నీళ్లు, నియామకాలు. వీటికి సంబంధించి బైఫర్కేషన్ యాక్ట్ లో పొందుపరిచినటువంటి హక్కుల్ని గత ప్రభుత్వం 10 సంవత్సరాలుగా తాత్సర్యం చేస్తూ కేంద్రం నుంచి తీసుకొని రావాల్సినటువంటి కొన్ని ముఖ్యమైన అంశాలని తీసుకొని రాలేకపోయింది. దయచేసి మేము మిమ్మల్ని కలుస్తూ ఆ అంశాలన్నింటినీ త్వరితగతిన తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రానికి అందించవలసిందిగా వారికి విజ్ఞప్తి చేయడం జరిగింది. అందులో భాగంగా ప్రధానంగా స్టీల్ ప్లాంట్ బయ్యారంలో ఉక్కు కర్మాగారానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి స్టీల్ ప్లాంట్ ని, అట్లాగే కాజీపేటలో రైల్వే కోచ్ ఫ్యాక్టరీ, అలాగే గత ప్రభుత్వంలో అందించినటువంటి ఐటీఐఆర్ సంబంధించినటువంటి ప్రాజెక్ట్ ని వాటిని వెంటనే అందించడమే కాకుండా ఏ నీళ్ల కోసం అయితే మేము పోరాటం చేశామో ఆ నీళ్లను తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ప్రజలకు అందించడం కోసం ఒక జాతీయ ప్రాజెక్ట్ గా పాలమూరు రంగారెడ్డిని కూడా ఆనాటి బైఫర్కేషన్ యాక్ట్ లో తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రానికి ఒక జాతీయ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఇస్తా అని చెప్పారు. దాంట్లో భాగంగా ఈ పాలమూరు రంగారెడ్డిని పరిగణలో తీసుకుని శాంక్షన్ చేయవలసిందిగా కోరుతూ
Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy on Tuesday said that the state government is committed to giving impetus to industrial development in Telangana. The state government will expedite the development of the electronics industry in Telangana. The government will provide the required support for the operations of the Foxconn Manufacturing Centre at Kongra Kalan. The state will also extend all necessary support to upcoming projects to be undertaken by the Foxconn company, he said. A delegation led by Foxconn's Hohe Precision Industry Company Limited representatively met the Chief Minister at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar State Secretariat on Tuesday. Minister for Information Technology and Industry D. Sridhar Babu, Chief Secretary Santhi Kumari and other officials were also present at the meeting. Speaking on the occasion, Revant Reddy said that the newly formed state government has the responsibility to fulfill the aspirations of the people. The government adopted a friendly approach with all communities. It may be recalled that the Foxconn Group entered an agreement with Telangana government in March 2023. Foxconn signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MoU, with the Telangana government and it would create 1 lakh jobs by setting up electronics manufacturing units. In the first phase, the company will provide 25,000 jobs in the next 2 years. Minister for Tourism and Telangana State BJP President G. Kishan Reddy has expressed confidence that his party's tally in Lok Sabha elections in Telangana would reach a double-digit mark. Addressing a press conference here on Tuesday, he said the party could not achieve the desired results in the assembly polls, but the response it got from the people of the state proved the party's popularity. The BJP leadership has laid out a detailed roadmap for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections and prepared a 90-day election action plans. He said the party leadership had asked state units to popularize the central government schemes among people and intensify the party activities at the grassroots.
తెలంగాణలో ఉన్నటువంటి అన్ని శాసనసభ నియోజకవర్గాల్లో శాసనసభ స్థాయిలో సమావేశాలు పూర్తి చేసుకున్నాం. వచ్చేటువంటి పార్లమెంట్ ఎన్నికలకు పూర్తిగా పార్టీ యంత్రాంగాన్ని సిద్ధం చేసేటువంటి ప్రయత్నం చేస్తా ఉన్నాం. ఆ దిశలోనే పార్టీకి సంబంధించినటువంటి పోలింగ్ బూత్ స్థాయి నుంచి సమావేశాలు మళ్ళీ నిర్వహించడం కోసం, మండల కమిటీలను మరింతగా పటిష్టం చేసుకోవడం కోసం ఒక కార్యాచరణ ప్రణాళికతో జనవరి అంతా కూడా సంస్థాగతంగా పార్టీని పటిష్టం చేసేటువంటి కార్యక్రమం చేపడతాం. అనేక మంది కొత్త యువత ఈరోజు తెలంగాణలో ఉన్నటువంటి మారిన రాజకీయ పరిస్థితుల నేపథ్యంలో భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ వైపు చూస్తూ ఉన్నారు. ఆ యువతనంతా కూడా బీజేపీ హక్కున చేర్చుకొని వారందరినీ కూడా వచ్చేటువంటి పార్లమెంట్ ఎన్నికల్లో మోడీ గారి ప్రభుత్వం మూడోసారి మళ్ళీ అధికారంలో రావడం కోసం అన్ని రకాల సహాయ సహకారాలు ఆ యొక్క యువత ద్వారా భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ సేవలు తీసుకుంటుంది.
Telangana Transport Department issued the government order or go on Tuesday, offering discount on pending traffic challans in Telangana from 26th December to 10th January next year. The Telangana Traffic Police have advised those with pending challans against their vehicles to clear them via the eChallan website while the discount lasts. The government has decided to waive the fine amount of 80% for two-wheelers and 90% for TSRTC buses, 60% for light motor vehicles and heavy motor vehicles through eChallans, the GO said. Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy on Tuesday declared open the 47-day sports festival Adudam Andhra that would be held across the state till 10th February next year. As part of the inauguration, the Chief Minister handed over the Adudam Andhra torch to the players who went round the ground amidst cheers by the spectators. After releasing balloons into the air, he also administered the oath to players and handed them over sports kits. Inaugurating the sports festival on the Loyola Public School grounds at Nallabdu in Guntur district on Tuesday, the Chief Minister said that government has decided to organize Adudam Andhra with two objectives in mind and it would become yet another milestone in the state history. While the first objective is that it would serve as a massive fitness exercise for the youth and help them maintain good physical fitness, it would also help the government identify the talented youth so that further steps would be taken to encourage them. T.S. Chetan, a 2016 batch IS officer, assumed charge as Director of Gram Ward Sachivla Department in Vijayawada on Tuesday. Earlier he worked as Joint Collector of Sri Satya Sai District, and as part of the recently held transfers, he has been posted as Gram Ward Sachivla Department Director. He convened the meeting with the department officials and asked about the details of the welfare schemes which would be implemented before January. He discussed the implementation of the Gram and Ward Volunteers Fund Sitoning, biannual welfare schemes, EBC Nestam, Jagrana Bima, and other welfare schemes. Speaking on the occasion, T.S. Chetan said that priority should be given to the beneficiaries who are eligible for the schemes. Many beneficiaries have eligibility. However, due to technical problems, they have yet to receive benefits from the government, he said. The state-level officials should know of all issues being implemented at the field level, he said. Shrimp farms in Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh are using modern methods to produce about 40,000 tons of shrimp annually for exports. The exports fetch farmers around 10,000 crore rupees, according to the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. All the farms are located near the Srikakulam sea coast under high biosecured conditions. The district contributes to a major share in India's shrimp exports to other countries. The farms, which spread over 1,000 acres, have been managed nearly 600 farmers and engaged approximately 5,000 workers directly. Secretary in the Department of Fisheries Abhilaksh Likhi visited Kalingapattinam in Srikakulam district and interacted with the shrimp farmers in order to understand their problems, the ministry said on Monday. The shrimp farmers are using a four-step farming with biofloc technology for producing bigger and quality shrimp, the average weight of each being 20 grams. Vijayawada Railway Division in South Central Railway has asked the passengers to desist from performing of Harati as part of puja by burning camphor and lighting of matchsticks or lighting incense sticks inside the coaches of trains. The carrying fire, inflammable materials and lighting up fire in any form in trains or on railway premises is strictly prohibited. The Vijayawada Railway Division here on Tuesday issued a travel advisory for passengers stating that such acts would pose a grave threat to safety and may result in fire hazards endangering human lives and railway property also. The railway officials cautioned that these activities constitute a punishable offence under Section 67, 154, 164, and 165 of the Railways Act 1989, for which the offender is liable to be punished with an imprisonment up to 3 years or a fine of 1,000 rupees or both, besides being liable for the loss, injury or damage caused. They stated that intensive checks are being conducted by personnel of Railway Protection Force and commercial branches to prevent such practices in the interest of safety. The Indian government has taken serious cognizance of the recent attacks on merchant navy ships MV Chem Pluto and MV Sai Baba, and it will take strict action against those behind the attacks by finding them even from the depths of seas, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said on Tuesday. Speaking after the commissioning of stealth-guided missile destroyer in Zimphal, Singh said India has intensified patrolling of the seas after the recent attacks on merchant navy ships. MV Chem Pluto with 21 Indian crew members was struck by a drone about 270 nautical miles from Porbandar on Saturday. A Gabon-flagged commercial crude oil tanker with 25 Indian crew members reportedly came under a drone attack in the southern Red Sea. Indian officials later clarified that the commercial oil tanker was not an Indian-flagged vessel. National Conference President Farooq Abdullah on Tuesday said shunting out army officers will not address the Poonch civilian deaths case and called for an investigation to find out why innocent people were tortured to death. 3 civilians were found dead after they were picked up by the army for questioning following a deadly terrorist ambush onto army vehicles in Poonch last Thursday. Peaceful citizens, 8 of them, were taken away and 3 were beaten so mercilessly and chili powder rubbed into their wounds. 3 of them could not bear the torture and succumbed. 5 others are in the hospital, Abdullah told reporters Srinagar. 4 years ago, the Home Minister made a speech in Chennai where he said Article 370 was responsible for terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Now terrorism will finish in JK and development is being done. 4 years later, he made a speech in the parliament and said he had not said anything like that. Modi ji also has said war is not an option now and issues have to be resolved through dialogue.
मैंने हर बार ये कहा है, वाजपेयी जी ने जो कहा था कि दोस्त बदलाए जा सकते हैं, पड़ोसी बदलाए नहीं जा सकते। अगर हम पड़ोसियों के साथ दोस्ती में रहेंगे तो दोनों तरक्की करेंगे, अगर दुश्मनी में रहेंगे तो हम आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते इतनी तेजी से। फिर मोदी जी का है बयान, प्रधानमंत्री का, कि वॉर इज नॉट एन ऑप्शन नाउ, अब बातचीत से मसले हल करने हैं। कहाँ है वो बातचीत? आज इमरान खान छोड़ दीजिए, आज नवाज शरीफ वहां के वजीर आजम बनने वाले हैं। वो चिल्ला चिल्ला के कहते हैं हम बात करेंगे। क्या वजह है कि हम बातचीत के लिए तैयार नहीं है? अगर बातचीत से हमने ये सुलझाया नहीं तो माफी चाहता हूं आपसे कहने का, हमारा भी वही हाल होगा जो आज गाजा का और पैलेस्टीनियन का हो रहा है, जिन पे आज बमबारी की जा रही है इजराइल की तरफ से।
A threat mail sent to the Reserve Bank about 11 bomb blasts in Mumbai on Tuesday turned out to be a hoax. No suspicious object was found at the RBI Central Office building and to other banks. The email was sent from the ID khilafat.india@gmail.com on the RBI governor's email ID at around 10:50 a.m. threatening bomb blasts at the RBI new Central Office building, Fort, HDFC House in Churchgate, and ICICI Bank Tower in Bandra Kurla complex at 1:30 p.m., a police official said. The sender demanded that Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das resign from their posts immediately and release a full statement about the disclosure of the banking scam. A case has been registered against an unidentified person on the complaint of the RBI head guard under various sections of the Indian Penal Code. The 30-share BSE Sensex climbed to 129.84 points or 0.32% to settle at 71,336.80. During the day, it jumped 364.33 points or 0.51% to 71,471.29. Index heavyweights HDFC Bank and Reliance Industries contributed around 120 points to the rally. The broader Nifty advanced 91.95 points or 0.43% to 21,441.35. Power, utilities, banking, oil and gas and commodities shares attracted buying while IT and tech shares succumbed to selling. Among the Sensex firms, NTPC, Mahindra & Mahindra, Wipro, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Tata Steel, Asian Paints, Bharti Airtel, Power Grid, Titan and HDFC Bank were the major gainers. Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Motors and HCL Technologies were the laggards. In Asian markets, Seoul and Tokyo settled with gains while Shanghai ended lower. Markets in Hong Kong were closed. US and European markets were closed on Monday. European markets remained closed on Tuesday for Boxing Day. Global oil benchmark Brent crude climbed 0.03% to $79.09 a barrel. Equity markets were closed on Monday for Christmas. thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV every day. This is Mahima, signing off. Keep watching Swatantra TV.